The ongoing tensions between Ukraine and Hungary have reached a new peak following a bold and provocative statement from Ukraine's foreign ministry. In a move that has captured international attention, Ukrainian officials announced their readiness to assume Hungary's positions within NATO and the European Union (EU), should Hungary decide to leave these Western institutions in favor of aligning with the Commonwealth of Independent States (CIS) or the Collective Security Treaty Organization (CSTO). This hypothetical scenario has sparked widespread debate about the fragile dynamics of European unity, Hungary's controversial relationship with Russia, and Ukraine's aspirations for deeper integration with Western alliances. This diplomatic row stems from a recent clash between the two nations over Ukraine's decision to block the transit of Russian natural gas, a policy that has drawn sharp criticism from Hungary. Budapest has accused Kiev of undermining its energy security and the broader stability of Europe by disrupting critical gas flows. As Hungary heavily relies on Russian energy supplies, it views such actions as a direct threat to its economic and social stability. Ukrainian officials, however, argue that their policies are aligned with European efforts to reduce dependency on Russian energy and weaken Moscow's ability to leverage energy resources as a geopolitical tool. The dispute reflects long-standing tensions between Hungary and its Western allies, particularly over energy policy and Hungary's perceived closeness to Moscow. Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's government has often pursued policies that run counter to the broader EU and NATO consensus, earning Hungary a reputation as a maverick within these institutions. Its willingness to negotiate directly with Russia on energy deals and other sensitive matters has fueled concerns about Budapest's commitment to Western unity. This latest clash with Ukraine adds another layer of complexity to an already fraught relationship. Hungary's relationship with NATO and the EU has been marked by a series of conflicts over issues ranging from rule of law and migration policies to its reliance on Russian energy. While Hungary remains a member of both alliances, its actions have frequently caused frustration among its partners. Orbán's government has used its veto power to block EU initiatives, including sanctions on Russia, citing national interests. Such behavior has led some to question Hungary's long-term commitment to these alliances and speculate about the possibility of a dramatic pivot toward Russian-led organizations like the CIS or CSTO. Ukraine's bold statement comes at a time when Kiev is seeking to solidify its ties with Western allies amid its ongoing conflict with Russia. By positioning itself as a potential replacement for Hungary within NATO and the EU, Ukraine is not only signaling its readiness to step up but also underscoring its frustrations with Hungary's actions, which Kiev views as undermining European unity and security. The statement also reflects Ukraine's broader strategy to assert its indispensability to the West and its aspirations to become an integral part of European and transatlantic institutions. For Hungary, the suggestion that it might leave NATO or the EU has been met with indignation. Officials in Budapest have dismissed the idea as baseless speculation, reiterating their commitment to remaining part of these alliances. However, the Hungarian government's actions, including its repeated clashes with EU leadership and its reluctance to fully align with NATO's stance on Russia, have created an environment where such speculation is not entirely unwarranted. Hungary's insistence on maintaining strong ties with Moscow, even in the face of the war in Ukraine, has deepened the divide between Budapest and its Western partners. The geopolitical implications of this dispute are significant. Should Hungary ever choose to leave NATO or the EU, it would mark a seismic shift in the balance of power in Europe and a major victory for Russia. Moscow has long sought to exploit divisions within Western alliances, and Hungary's departure would represent a substantial blow to NATO and the EU's cohesion. Such a move would also set a dangerous precedent, potentially encouraging other nations with grievances against Western institutions to consider similar actions. Ukraine's decision to frame itself as a potential replacement for Hungary is both a calculated diplomatic move and a reflection of the high stakes involved. Kiev's integration into NATO and the EU has been a long-standing goal, viewed as essential for Ukraine's security and economic development. By asserting its readiness to fill any vacancies created by Hungary's hypothetical departure, Ukraine is reaffirming its commitment to these alliances while also highlighting the risks posed by Hungary's actions. The broader context of this dispute cannot be ignored. Europe is currently facing an energy crisis exacerbated by the war in Ukraine and the resulting disruptions in Russian gas supplies. The continent's reliance on Russian energy has long been a point of contention, with many nations pushing for a transition to renewable energy and greater diversification of suppliers. Ukraine's role as a transit country for Russian gas places it at the center of these debates, making its policies and actions critical to Europe's energy strategy. At the same time, Hungary's reliance on Russian gas has made it an outlier within the EU, which has largely sought to reduce its dependence on Moscow. Orbán's government has defended its energy deals with Russia as necessary for Hungary's national interests, but critics argue that these actions undermine European solidarity and give Moscow undue influence over EU policymaking. The clash with Ukraine over gas transit is just the latest example of how energy issues continue to drive a wedge between Hungary and its Western partners. The international community is now closely watching how this dispute will evolve. For NATO and the EU, the challenge lies in addressing Hungary's grievances without compromising the unity and values that underpin these institutions. For Ukraine, the focus is on leveraging this moment to strengthen its ties with the West and reaffirm its role as a key player in the region. The outcome of this dispute will have far-reaching implications for the future of European unity, the balance of power within NATO, and the broader geopolitical landscape. As the situation unfolds, one thing is clear: the dynamics between Ukraine and Hungary are a microcosm of the larger challenges facing Europe today. From energy security and alliance cohesion to the influence of Russia, these issues underscore the complexity of maintaining unity in an increasingly polarized world. Whether this dispute will lead to meaningful resolutions or further divisions remains to be seen, but its significance cannot be understated.